I rank where the view is nothing less than phenomenal. For how I express and project from my abdominal. The only view better, both my daddy and my mama know. No living parents, my sons give me balance. My wife is my serenity, this mic is my identity. The world is foul enough, that's why I write without obscenities. Provoking danger with broken language and spoken anguish. Begging to get hurt, why would you ask to go through changes? Yes, Lord, life's a chessboard, master the angles. Control the tempo, be the one who holds the info. Acknowledge is just as deadly as machete swings. When spoken, the truth is as potent as that Medellin. While others swear the style is free, I just let it ring. Our time is undervalued, soldiers make us better kings. My fans on my shoulder, reaching after better things. Today I take the shot, for them I'd rather set the screen.
My mama told me follow my dreams. My daddy told me get it by any means. Stand tall, make him bow to a king. But I've evolved, you can see the resolve. Look in my eyes when you speaking to God.
Life and for those who we caught up in using what I was taught with the muse. I guess they call it proving I'm more than an artist. Penciling out my darkest while stenciling out a harvest. And storing what gets me from A to B, just like garages. Instrumental with collages. Envision what I've been drawing. Broadway to give you rhythm like the great Lena Horne. So bent on, found comfort in the storm. Find peace and on when you see them others perform. Organized chaos, I'll cast it like hey ya.
Yo, party people in the place to be. What's good? How y'all doing this afternoon? It is the number one Chief Rocket Knicks universe. Your main man, Uncle Freezy, and welcome to the Knicks Morning Drive. Really later than what I expected. Thank y'all for coming through, hanging out with us. My apologies. Had an episode this morning, so I apologize for being late. Ivory 10, Mets, Andios. The son of the legend, Kerry Cox, is in here. Justo11. Man, thank y'all for coming through, hanging out, man. Love having y'all here, man. Love having y'all in the spot, man. Let's talk about these Knicks. Kerry Cox says, my feelings were hurt with our last loss. That is interesting. Luke Skywalker Visions is in the building. JJ is in the building. What's good, y'all? Let me see here. I see a couple of things that I need to tighten up. Let me see here. If you on YouTube, all right, bam. Okay, didn't want to play that out loud, but there it is. All right, Just Knicks is in the building. Hewlett Samuel is in the building. Salute. Yeah, y'all. My apologies for not getting here at 9. I was trying to get here at 9, and then I had a Yeah, I know I have so basically what it is I know I speak about it maybe once a month or so, but I have a small heart condition called supraventricular tachycardia, and every now and then I'll get like an irregular heartbeat or whatever. And so while it's nothing that'll send me to the hospital or anything like that, you know what I'm saying, I just got to take a step back and get myself together before I do anything. You know what I mean? I hope y'all understand the reason. That's the reason why this morning about I was taking the dog out about 5:30, something like that. And so I had one of those happen, man. And then, you know what I'm saying, it's just one of those deals where it just kept me in a place where I couldn't really do anything. So I just chilled out and relaxed. And then about 7:00, man, I dozed off. And before you know it, it was like way past 9:00. So nothing to be worried or concerned about. It's just part of life. You know what I'm saying? So So my apologies for that, man. For those, because I know I told everybody 9 o'clock, and then I told everybody 12 o'clock. You know what I'm saying? Or then put 12 o'clock, and then stuff still got behind. But I appreciate y'all being patient with me. Yeah, salute everybody. Yeah, man. Yeah, man. So we lost to the Oklahoma City Thunder, and I know I spoke to this last night, but the more I think about it, the less I'm concerned. Yeah, the less I'm concerned. It didn't even bother me. Like what now? Watching SGA hit that buzzer beater over Deuce, that concerned me. I ain't gonna lie. That right there it was frustrating, right? That was frustrating. I ain't gonna lie to you. That was frustrating, right? But that's just the competitive part. In the grand scheme of things, though, in the grand scheme of things, man, no. A fully healthy championship contender beat a very banged up Knicks team at the buzzer. Should I be concerned? No. And here's why. Here's why, right? If the Knicks could beat the Bucks and the Celtics and the Nuggets and the Wolves and the Thunder without Julius Randle, without Mitchell Robinson, without OG Anunoby, wouldn't we be considered the favorites for the NBA championship? And I've been watching people's stuff on social media. I don't want to call them idiots, right? I don't want to call people idiots, but I've been seeing some really sketchy takes by people. And what it seems like to me, and no disrespect, but if they are disrespected, then so what? If this Knicks team could beat everybody in the league without 3 of their starters in the lineup, why would you still say they're not championship contenders? These are like the hypocritical takes. You know Randall's out. You know Mitch is out. You know OG Anunoby is out. And the best team in the Western Conference had to beat us at the buzzer. And you are like, man, we should have won that game. Yeah, we could have won that game. We could have if a few things had gone differently. Maybe we hit more free throws, but maybe they hit more free throws. Maybe we hit more shots. Maybe they would have hit more shots. I think we got to relax. I think we have to relax and understand where we are. Losing is difficult, especially when we have such high hopes. Right? We have such high hopes. We have such high hopes, right? That every game that we play seems like it's pivotal. And maybe it is. Maybe they are. But I think we have to be realistic, man. I think we'll have to be realistic. Like, how are we going to catch the Bucks when they're healthy and we're not? How are we going to catch the Cavs when for the most part, they're healthy and we're not? I think they have one guy out, maybe one main guy, and then like some other random guys. I honestly believe at some point, not you guys, and remember, I'm not talking about you guys. I'm talking about some of the stuff that I saw. I honestly think with people's newfound social celebrity acceptance, whatever we call it, that people use that new shaky platform they're on to complain, right? And their complaint is not even about complaining about what they see. It's more to draw sympathy and empathy from a crowd. Oh, look at me, I'm so passionate. No, this is not about you. You don't play for the Knicks. You're a fan. And I'm watching it. I was just watching, and it's from X. I was on X, and you know the guy that come out and cry a river, that complain about everything. They complain about everything except the facts. Facts are Julius Randle didn't play, OG Anunoby didn't play, Mitchell Robinson didn't play. Fact is, Oklahoma City had the vast majority of all the weaponry they're headed into the playoffs with. These are facts. Fact is, they beat us they hit their shot at the buzzer, and we missed our shot at the buzzer. These are facts. And when we start distorting facts for the sake of empathy and complaining and things like for instance, if there is a empathetic moment, if you need a sympathy for something, just say it. Hey man, I'm feeling down. And then we'll pick you up. But to place blame on this undermanned team, on somebody, anybody, to blame Tom Thibodeau, to blame the organization, to blame Deuce McBride, to blame Dante, to blame Precious, when we know they're undermanned, is less about the team that we love and more about people in their newfound pseudo status want to complain for the sake of drawing attention to themselves, which makes it less about the Knicks and more about that person or these people. And if you are here, and my people, if you are here because you love the Knicks, if you are here because you love the camaraderie of being in a chat with people that are familiar, if you are here because you kind of like Uncle Freezy a little bit, right? If you are here because you like the platform, if you are here because you like, the fact that you could be in the chat and get acknowledged and be a part of something that's bigger than ourselves, then man, listen, me too. I'm here with you. Salute to my sister. Look at this. Look at, man, Dope Soul Sports and Knicks Talk is in the building. I thought my sister was somewhere counting money. Yeah, no lie. Hey, hand to the man. I think Dope Soul Sports and Knicks Talk called me one day. She was like, I'm just getting so tired of moving all this money around. I wish I had a forklift so I can move these $50 bills around. Oh, it's just so. She's like, Uncle Freeze, I just get so tired of traveling the world and drinking all these expensive wines. Dope Soul Sports Talk. Where you at right now? Where's she at right? Let me see. Where's she at? Where you at right now? I bet you she probably like in South Africa somewhere. Where's Dope Soul Sports? Bim! What I tell y'all? What I tell y'all? Hey, salute to my partner, You know what I'm saying? My sister, man, it's all love. I'm joking, right? I'm joking with Dope Soul Sports and Knicks Talk, right? I'm joking, right? But that's my people right there. That's my people right there. You know, make sure y'all check out the channel. Make sure y'all check out the channel. Um, um, check out the stuff every time she go live. Subscribe, and maybe I'm gonna talk to her about this summer, seeing if we can do the neighborhood again. We did this show last summer called The Neighborhood, where we got together like for the lunch break, like on Thursdays. I'm gonna talk to her, see if that's something that we can do. That way we can keep content out there for everybody. And so Dope Soul Sports and Knicks Talk says, just got off my cruise, about to get on this double decker in Miami, and then Knicks game Tuesday night. Bam! The life. The life. The life. Dope Soul says we going live Saturday. Bam. Bam. You know, I'm gonna check it out. I probably won't be on doing nothing. You know, Saturdays. I try to reserve Saturdays for Miss Mocha, right? But you know, I probably try to sneak and check everything out. Yeah, no doubt, no doubt. Shout out to Allah Wise, the Saint is in the building. Hewlett Samuel is in here. If I miss somebody's name, if I miss somebody's name, y'all know what it is. It's not because I left you out or whatever. It's just because I missed it. So, but yeah, man, I was on like this thing just now about how I think some people have taken maybe status and have forgotten about the Knicks. And I love the Knicks. I'm not gonna lie to you. When I go walk the dogs, I'm walking the dogs in Knicks stuff down the street. We go to the mall in the food court, I'm wearing either Knicks or Met stuff. And as people like as men like Allah Wise and Boulevard 73 and Corey Lee and Anthony D and Free Keith and the Ghetto Intellect and IKBM Dre and others can attest. I always say it's not about me, man. It's about these Knicks and it's about y'all. We do this because it's about y'all. And so when we lose these tight games and things like that, when we lose these close games, man, don't put your head down, man. Keep your head up. Yo, keep your head up is what I'm saying. Ultimately, I said it in a roundabout way, right? I said it in a roundabout way, and maybe the way that I described it is off, or maybe the way that I tried to dispense the message was wrong. But what I'm saying to you, if you're a Knicks fan, man, keep your head up. We are in a good place. Don't let all the outside stuff dissuade you or move you from the positive wave that we're on. Like I mentioned it like a million times. Teams that are in our situation normally don't try to win. They just go to the lottery. Can you imagine? Think about this. Imagine the Boston Celtics without Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum, and Kristaps Porzingis. Right? Imagine that team. You think that team's trying to make the playoffs? No. They're going straight to the lottery so the NBA can hook them up with a young hotshot rookie. Imagine Milwaukee without Chris Middleton, Damian Lillard, and Giannis. You think they trying to make the playoffs? No. They are going straight to the lottery to get a lottery pick. Imagine the Golden State Warriors without Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, and Draymond Green. You think they trying to make the playoffs? No. They're going straight to the lottery to get them a hot shot rookie, maybe a Jonathan Kuminga or something, a Moses Moody or something. No, they are not. But the Knicks have chose a different course. The Knicks chose to fight. The Knicks chose to scrap. Pastor Jay is in the building. Positive vibes, Pastor Jay. Salute. Love you, brother. Is my camera wonky? Hold on for a split second. Sorry about that. I had to reset this. Camera, y'all. All right. Let me put my thing in here. Bam. There we go. Kerry Cox says, we are moving Alec Burks for sure. Yeah, that may be true. That may be true. But this year though, I think the Knicks are gonna be less focused on that stuff, man, and be more focused on trying to win a chip when everybody gets back. So my question is now, is OG Anunoby going to be available for the Miami game? Is Mitchell Robinson going to be available for the Miami game? Mitch, what's good, man?
Salute, boss. I mean, regards to the question you're about to ask, can I just add a little something to it? Josh Hart, you need to learn when to shut up, because saying you'll be surprised that Randall and OG will be back before the season's up, are out for the season, back before the season's up, that's basically a tell saying they're out for the whole year.
Okay.
Seriously, Josh, you want to keep your team's confidence up in the midst of an injury bug crisis? Then shut up, will you?
Indeed. And indeed, I agree with you on that. That's a separate thought, but yeah,
I mean, I just figured that's where this was going.
Yeah, well,
I mean, Mitch being back in time for Miami, maybe. I mean, all that happened to him was when Bajana stepped on his foot.
Right. Yeah, no doubt. But if you're a Knicks fan though, understanding whether or not those guys are coming back. Understanding whether or not those guys are coming. Mets, you saw it. You saw it with the Mets. Bro, the years where Syndergaard is hurt, the year where Matz is hurt, the year where DeGrom is hurt, the year where we're patching, throwing young, not ready prospects on the mound because guys are out 4 months, a year, 6 weeks, all these things. Instead of us chasing a World Series ring,
we're basically kicking the can down the road. we're basically kicking the can down the road because we have a saboteur manager who was a Yankee holdover in Mendoza. David Stearns, a guy who I think is trying too hard to limit damage control to get that false sense of security and assurance as the GM. And Cohen, who's just throwing money around, not knowing what to do with it.
Right.
And we saw this whole weekend against Milwaukee. We couldn't do a damn thing against the Crew.
Right. Yeah. Pretty much.
Because there was no plate discipline. The pitchers were over exerting themselves on the mound, especially the rotation.
Yeah. I disagree with you slightly on that. And I'm going to say this in a way, it's going to sound disrespectful to Mets Nation, but it's not because I want to be disrespectful. I just think we have a severe lack of high-end talent. And so now you expect the world from guys like Brandon Nimmo and other guys. You hope Brett Beatty turns into something, right? You're hanging your season on JD Martinez's bat and things of that sort. The Mets don't have high-end talent, right? And so when you force guys to step up into these roles and they don't produce, now you're really hurt because you put them in key roles. And now when you backfill the dudes that are in the spots that they vacated to move up in the pecking order, when they don't produce, now if Francisco Alvarez doesn't bat 280 and hit 40 home runs and driving 100 and something runs, now it's like the season was a disaster. You're putting too much, and that's where the Knicks are. OG is out. Randall is out. Mitch is out. Jalen Brunson can't even go to the bathroom. Jalen Brunson went to the bathroom with a 10-point lead. By the time he returned from the restroom, by the time that man returned from the restroom, the game was tied.
It was deja vu. To me, that was becoming like, do you remember the Laker game at the end of January, start of February? It was deja vu for me with that.
Right.
We were up 10 at the third quarter, 8 or 10 at the start of the fourth quarter in that game, and we let it get away and never recovered. At least in this one, we tried to recover, but we just screwed it up in the last shot.
Right. And even with all that said, Jalen Brunson had a shot at the end of the game to win the game, but he missed. Even with all of these things, even we laid all these things out on the table, all these facts, the Knicks still had a shot at winning that game, and we missed. And to be honest with you, if Jalen Brunson hits that shot, we're not having this conversation, though we should. Or at the very
least, if he got the foul call on the shot he did hit with 4 seconds left and hit the free throw, we would have been going to a second straight overtime game.
Right.
At the very least.
And so this is the thing, because I thought about that too. I think deeply about stuff when I shouldn't, right? Or if Jalen Brunson gets that free throw, let me ask you this. With the vibe at the free throw line, does he hit that free throw? I don't know either, right? And that's the thing. And then if he misses the free throw, does a scrum for the rebound run out the game clock? You don't know. We don't know. It's the alternate universe of things where if the referee gives him the call right there, the game plays out differently. Or if he hits the free throw and they get the ball, now you're asking a team that really doesn't shoot the three ball well to shoot threes to win the game or to tie the game. Right? So it's all these different things. And I don't want to blame the referees for the game because that'd be the easy way out and all of that stuff. What I would say, though, is the mere fact that team is one of the best teams in the Western Conference had to have the referees on their side. And
when they need it.
Yeah.
I mean, when the refs people please top dogs like that, you feel like storming the court and giving them a couple of stunners.
What do you mean? Some surprise? Surprise stunners or throw them off the rope and catch them?
No,
and
stone
on
cold
some stunners.
Stick them in the gut and then drop them.
Okay, because I would have mentioned RKO's right there. I'm like, hit him with an RKO or something. But anyways, however you describe it, man. Okay, I'm with it.
And then jaw jack them while they're on the flat on the hardwood, and then ask the beer man for a beer, even though I don't drink booze.
Yeah.
Or if I do drink booze, it's very seldom.
Yeah. You know what? I'm not even gonna lie to you, man. The way that the game played out yesterday, it was disheartening. There were a lot of things that we could probably have done differently. But at the same time, if we knew that we could have done them differently and got a different result, I think we would have done them differently and got a different result. Okay, hey, you know what? Yeah, one of your guys is backstage. I hope YouTube is not gonna charge me $29 for this, but let's see. Where is it?
Do you remember how you held me then? Now you got me reaching out. And do you see you got me falling in more times than I can get out. Down in the deep of my mind, I cry for you and you're always inside. Down in the deep of my mind, how long do I got to keep you? Down in the deep of my mind, I cry for you and you're always inside. Down in the deep of my mind, trying so hard not to keep you.
Wiz?
Well, man. Hail, General.
El Presidente. There he is. Man, that's a crispy shirt you got on there, boss.
I mean, it's even weird to see me with this on my head.
Yeah, I was in Lowe's the other day, bro.
Well, I mean, I got the job last week.
Oh, okay. Congratulations.
I just finished my first week. I'm not on the clock today.
How was it?
It was okay.
Yeah, I was in Lowe's. I bought a drill. I bought a drill, and I think we bought maybe 8 windows out of Lowe's.
Oh, I'm in the outdoor lawn and garden department.
Testing 1 2. Testing 1 2. Can you hear me now?
There you go. Yeah. There you go, Wiz. Wiz. Hey man, Deuce lost the game last night. I'm joking, bro. I'm joking. Relax.
Deuce lost Friday's game.
Huh?
Wide open 3-pointer.
That 3-pointer. That 3-point. Remember the 3-pointer when they were up by? We were down by 1, and he shot that 3-pointer, and it went all the way down and came out.
Yep. My boy Deuce, he's almost ready for prime time. Almost. He's still cooking. Let him simmer some more. He's not warmed up yet. He's not comfortable yet.
No, we don't have time for that, bro.
Who we got in the house? Oh, just the freeway. Okay. Yeah. Yo, Mets, I'm sorry about your Mets, because I'm a Yankee fan, so you know.
Push it, Wiz. I mean, I was so frustrated with the Mets on Saturday, I had to just do the Yankee game call that night.
4-0, baby, 4-0.
Partially because my podcast partner's a Yankee fan, and partially I was so worn out from work I didn't bother doing the Met game.
Oh, man.
Yeah, man.
So how's the new job going so far, man? You like it?
It's okay. I mean, half the time it's either helping people with code 50s, other times it's helping customers get their stuff in their cars, other times it's cart duty.
Did you say you're counting 50s? Is he been counting 50s for you? Did you say he's been counting 50s?
No, code 50s. They're basically load jobs with hay bales, Wiz.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then
I'll be counting some 50s soon, hopefully, and I'll get a suite and I'll fly you up to New York, all you up to New York, right? In a suite, have a first class instead, like maybe not the Plaza Hotel. Actually, the Plaza maybe. Okay, sounds good for you.
You don't need a Lowe's in New York, bro. They don't have grass and outdoor spaces in New York like that.
Yeah, I live in the Carolinas, Wiz.
No, I'm talking about we'll go to the Knicks game, man, for the playoffs, for the NBA Finals.
And
Oh
then
yeah.
other times, I'm in the pick line.
Justo 1-1. Thank you for the generous contribution. Justo says the Mitch jump ball from the Spurs game is still confusing. But one thing we know is JB is a megastar. This team isn't even at its peak form
Mm,
yet. I
mm,
I, I agree. And you know what? I was gonna make because Mets mentioned JB not getting the foul call after the layup where he was accosted, where he was assaulted at the rim, right? Legit, it was. I thought it was a burglary at the rim, right?
mm,
Where they fouled their foul was so intentional that one of their own guys got hurt, right?
mm. Yep.
They didn't call a foul on Brunson. Everybody was standing there because they knew the referees blew the whistle, but the referees didn't blow the whistle, right? And then in the San Antonio game that Justo 1-1 referenced, man, come on, man, a jump ball violation. It wasn't even Mitch that violated. It was Wimbiana.
Mm.
You can't lean into another player to get position. You got to jump straight up and tap it.
I mean, seriously, these refs are so deep in other teams' pockets that they say F you to the Knicks no matter how good or bad they are.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh my goodness.
By the way, Freezy, I gotta give you props, man. Give you flowers. You were one of the first I ever heard said Brunson is a megastar, and I didn't believe you.
Wiz.
I was gonna say star. Maybe he'll be a superstar. Maybe what you were calling it last year after you recognized. You were like, you know what? I'm going to declare him a megastar. I'm like, damn, really? You're like trying to be like a, Pastowski like me with Deuce.
Hey, Wiz, I thought you were going to give me credit for Deuce McBride being Kyle Lowry. That's the one. That's the one that, you know what, Wiz, I promise you, at the end of this playoff run going into next season, you know what people are going to say? Uncle Freezy, Deuce McBride is like Kyle Lowry. I told you. And I'm like, wait, what? What? Dude,
Unfortunately, we just can't say that yet because I've been calling Deuce CP3, GP, Stockton, Steph 2.0. So I'm aiming higher than Lowry. So I'll give you credit for at least recognizing the car level, and I'm gonna give flowers for that. Well, I'm going to the next level above that. I'm going to HOF, man. I'm going to Hall of Fame, All Star level.
oh, wow. Okay.
That's how I'm jumping off the ledge because he's got the skill, he's got the physical abilities, and all he needs to do is just practice with Brunson for another year or so. And if he gets those little moves like Brunson, gets a handle like Brunson, and all you gotta do is keep the vision, keep the eyes open.
Right.
I'm looking for no look passes, you know, I don't know, maybe some dimes behind the back dimes and some no look over the head alley oops to my boy Sims. Not like what Josh tried to do with Dante, throwing the ball to the backboard alley oop from half court.
Right.
Oh man, we had so many chances to win that game. But I'm not discouraged, man. I actually like the idea of the last second shot games, like these last two. Both of those players are the kind who will go back to the gym and get their mindset and go get talk to somebody, get their minds right, because there will be some buzzer beaters. We haven't had many buzzer beaters. We haven't had I don't want to bring up old player, but we haven't had an RJ Boston Celtics buzzer beater shot in a while. I want to have that because playoffs are still undecided by that. Toronto had it with Kawhi, and I want to see the Knicks have a couple of walk-off buzzer beater last second shots to win it behind by two, 3-point shot, behind by one, 2-point game winning shot. So now we got rid of the misses. Now we're ready to make the run towards make the makes in the playoffs.
Okay.
So yeah, man. Yeah, I'm okay with these. Pat. I mean, I'm not happy, I, but I'm also good that we lost the games when Cavs, when the Cavs have
Also
lost as
lose.
well,
Yeah.
when Magic have lost as well. I'd
Mhm.
rather lose when they lose than lose when they win.
Right.
Maintain the current status of being, technically a game and a half up on the Cavs right now. Cause the tiebreaker and
Right.
being a game up on the Magic. So I would, as long as stay ahead of Magic, at least I'm good with that because I want number three. I want the third spot. I'm not trying to avoid anybody, but I want the third spot for the you know for a little bit of statement about how good we are. But also, I don't mind waiting for Boston for the finals. Not because I'm trying to avoid them, but I'd rather see that be the last because I want to give Boston a little bit of credit for fighting. I want to see KP and Tatum and them as they said, okay, at least we didn't get knocked out second round. So let's get to the third round. So I don't like anybody else in the league, in the East anyway, to go to the finals. So anybody else, I don't want Caps to make it. I don't want Match to make it in the first try. Pacers, no way. Because that's my nemesis with Reggie Miller. So Boston is the only team I'm going to give that props to get to the
Are
ECF
we still,
finals. And they look
are we still
respectable.
calling Reggie Miller? Is Reggie Miller still considered the Gotham Strangler?
For
Maybe.
me, it is because
Blake
I
or
was I
Strangler?
was there. I was there. I was actually at the game where he did it. So it's for me. It'll always be Reggie because
Right.
and
He
his
was
arrogance and his choke sign to his spike and all that stuff. Oh man, that hurts. It still hurts today. I blame Spike for a lot of it because Spike was talking too much trash, but then we turned over the ball like what three straight times that last second. Oh,
Yeah.
it hurts. It still hurts to me watch that. To think about
I mean,
Reggie hitting those shots.
look at what
Mm.
if the Knicks are going to finish with 50 wins. They need to win at least 6 of these remaining 8. They've got Chicago, Miami, Sacramento, Chicago twice, Milwaukee, Boston.
Chicago a third time.
3 Chicago's.
Yeah.
That was only 2 at
So
Chicago.
that could be. Let's get at least 2 wins of those, right? So that's
It's
2
3.
wins.
It's a schedule blip because the in-season tournament, they swapped one of the
Right.
early Chicago games to a later Chicago game.
And one against Brooklyn.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's 3 or 4 wins right there.
Yeah.
The way
Sacramento.
Miami's
We
been
can take
playing
that.
the fight, I don't know if we can beat them with as beat up a lineup as we got. You know what I mean?
Nope.
Yep.
Explain it.
What?
Explain it.
The question here is that no OG means Butler is free to bring threes down as much as he can. Deuce couldn't keep up with him in the playoffs. Neither could Josh Hart. And RJ certainly couldn't get the job done the way I see it. Because if Jimmy is playing, and he probably will be tomorrow night.
Strangely enough, Mets with Miami, I think that we have to worry about their offense. Miami is not putting up 120 points, right? Generally speaking, they don't have that kind of offense, right? They're trying to keep games low 100s, possibly 90s. They want to scrap. But the way we're playing, I don't think Miami has the ability to stop us right now. If we play the way, especially our short, guard lineup, I think those 3 cats right now, Brunson, Dante, Deuce, and then if Bogey, Bojan or Burks show up a little bit, I know Precious gonna just do a status quo. Josh gonna do his thing, his triple double, 10-point triple doubles, 10, 10, 10, you know, and then of course if Mitch is healthy and Ihart's healthy, I'm comfortable that we could put up 110 plus on Miami.
My
Okay.
fingers
So
are
I think
crossed.
we can beat them because of our offensive firepower against them when they don't have, I don't think, the killer power to stop us offensively.
Liz, my fingers are crossed that Mitch is healthy tomorrow because we saw the Ihart Achua set up with Achua playing center in an 8-man rotation. It's becoming oil and water. It doesn't work.
Right. I don't want to throw playing center at all. I want to throw back to power forward. That I think is our downfall. And I've been trying to hold back from blaming tips, man. 10 man, as you say, but I just couldn't play Mitch in the OT after seeing him. Even if he flinch a little bit, if Mitch even flinch a little bit, I'm sitting him down, and his OT time was over. In fact, I think he played above his allocated minutes, even iHeart did when he fouled out. But I'd have taken a try. I think we got a loss anyway. I'd have just thrown Sims in there and just be like, yo, Mitch, relax. Let's
I mean,
rest.
I would have. I mean, as much as I hate to say it, I would have thrown Sims in last night as a centerpiece if iHeart played though. I mean, true, he sucks, but at least he's a bigger body than what Achua is.
Right.
Did he do that? No, he never did.
Yeah.
Actually, one thing I want to get on my chest for you about, and I'm gonna probably this with Ron also, is about whenever people argue about, and I've seen Double A do it, argue about the playing time for the players, about running them into the ground and stuff. I think the argument is wrong. The way they argue, the point they're arguing is wrong. It's not the length. It's not playing time per game. It's a consecutive time during games or moments where you should make the transfer. I mean, I think I've heard it before. I don't know if you even said it. It's when Zeus is tired after 14 straight minutes from the opening of the first half, and then 6 minutes into the fourth quarter, he's still out taking a break. And although he's going to put up 47 minutes, there should be, if he does 46 minutes, if he gets 30 seconds with a timer or something during those 12-minute runs, just to kind of like recalibrate, reset, especially when you're not even shooting that well. Take a moment, sit down, drink a little Gatorade, and just watch the game flow for like one run up and down for each team. Boom, you know, 30, 45 seconds go off the clock, come back in. It just feels mentally like a rest. I know physical is not a big rest, it's
Right.
a mental rest. And that's my concern with tips and the time. It's not averaging 36 minutes a game because, like I said, there 10 other guys who are doing it. Once is like 17 tonight. You know, also, even that count doesn't count as much because Brunson's 36 minutes a game is not the same as a Trey 36 minutes a game. Brunson fights for every single second to get his points off. Trey, 9% of the time, is just walking down, and he's not doing it all the time, but he's doing logo 3 pointers. He's not getting in there. He's not getting bumped and fouled like Brunson is, nor is he bumping like Brunson is bumping. And then defensively, he's not doing what Brunson is doing. Defensively, taking charges and banging, you know, against other people where it's just a wear and tear in his body. So his 36 minutes is an exhausting 36 minutes. So but again, I'm not going to argue that time frame because he's young, strong, well conditioned young man. But I want to talk about when he's in his 16 straight minutes and you see him grabbing his shorts and bending over.
And listen, understand. Listen, I understand. Listen, I've actually sat through Swan Lake, bro, and that's what it sounds like. What you're doing right now with Deuce, because you
I know Swan Lake.
you legit went from early in the season talking about, man, Deuce needs to get minutes. Remember that? Why doesn't he even play Deuce? And right now, you're talking about Deuce playing too many minutes consecutively.
Not too many minutes. It's a consecutive time frame. Again, it's not the too many minutes. I want to play 46 minutes a game. But it's when you see a player who may need a 30-second breather, give him 46. And again,
but
let's talk about
Wiz, you can't you trying to argue with the point, but I hadn't really made it yet. Listen to what I'm saying.
Okay, go ahead.
Listen to what I'm saying. So this guy goes from not playing to playing all the time, right? It's not like he's been a part of the grind for the entire season. When you're situational, you're going to go through these spells. It's not like he is Josh Hart playing 40 minutes a game since day one, right? Where you could get ground down from October, November, December, January, February, March, April. Deuce just really started playing significant minutes towards the end of January through February and March, right?
True.
And I know you're going to say, man, but still he's tired, right? No, I get it. I get it, but he's not worn down tired. He needs a blow tired, like how you mentioned. But
That's
the
it.
thing
It's
is,
all arguing, Freezy. It's not just length of time. It's a blow. I don't want it to blow. I
but
don't want
but
pause.
listen what I'm
But I mean,
listen what I'm saying, bro. Yesterday he did that same thing that you mentioned. Daquan Jeffries came in and played 40 seconds, and you know what happened? The lead stretched. Daquan Jeffries played legit 40 seconds yesterday.
damn.
You know who it is? Number 21. You know who it is.
Oh, jeez.
And they tried in the previous game. They tried with Shake Milton, and you know what happened?
Lead
The
stretch.
lead evaporated.
Yep. Okay.
Right.
I know, man.
So it's one of those things where you have to, if you're Deuce, you know what? If you're Deuce McBride, just step your game up.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
If you're Deuce, like Deuce had some shots yesterday that if they gone in, we'd be having a different conversation. How about maybe
Correct.
one or two of those shots? Right?
Okay.
Right. And think about this. Think about this. The game winner that was hit. You know what defender was in the shot? You know who was defending the last shot of the game by Oklahoma City?
Was that S? Was that
Jeffries.
SJ?
It was Deuce McBride.
Oh, right. Yes. I guess SJ. Yep. Yep.
It was Deuce.
It was.
If Deuce forces him, if Deuce smothers him and he misses that shot, the Knicks win.
True.
Right?
He didn't.
You can't say so ultimately what I'm saying is I understand what you're saying. You're like, hey man, you playing it's not fair that this young kid that got no playing time whatsoever for 2.5 years, now all of a sudden you're throwing him out there in the most crucial part of your season and he's tired, right? That's on Deuce McBride, bro. When they call your number, you got to be ready.
But my argument's not even. I wasn't thinking about Deuce, actually. I was thinking about the players when they play 47, 48 minutes. Is the time that they get the break, the breather. I'm talking about even with Brunson, even if he puts up 44 minutes, he sometimes plays 26 minutes straight, gets a 3 minute rest, and the thing is he could have had a 1 minute rest
But he's
12
not
minutes earlier to catch his breath.
He's not. Deuce McBride is not Jalen Brunson. I don't want to have that conversation.
And then I'm saying all players who do 40
You mean
plus
the
minutes.
situation, right? You mean the situation, right?
Situation, exactly. The situation of
Right.
40 plus minutes doesn't mean it's 40 straight minutes.
Deuce McBride is not good enough to dictate situations yet.
Oh no, I'm not saying Deuce though. I'm just saying the whole Tim's situational substitution for rest. So I'm just saying it's a concept of resting, giving the players 40 minutes a game is fine, but it's when they can get the breather is when they need it. And I know it's not always ideal, nor can you do it because there's
And
no timeout available or there's no break in the game.
Wiz,
But I've seen moments where guys are gassed. I mean, even
take out Deuce McBride and put in who?
put in Josh, put in Dante.
He and Josh usually play together, bro.
You mean substitution who to put in for him. Okay, so now now okay, so there's I'm not saying it's not a valid argument that teams will have for who he doesn't put in. So he's right. My concern is that when we are arguing the time, it's not that we have someone else to put in. It's that the argument is not valid that he's playing 40 minutes a game. The argument is he's playing 27 minutes straight without a breather. And so what we need to do was think about who should have been there. Everyone who's arguing that the Bojan Burks move right now, it looks like a bad move, was the right move, is that were we thinking about who gets a breather and who should have been bought, who should we have gone for to get them to have a breather? And it's none of the guys we have right now. There's nobody, even Shake. I don't. Unfortunately, I like Shake, but maybe he's not the right guy
He had
that we
no,
should
he
have
had,
gone for or had as a backup. Basically,
yes,
we started the season off wrong, in my opinion, from the very beginning. The season was started off by the front office without a backup power forward. We're technically not a backup three, technically, and at that point, moment in time, not a true backup point guard or ball handler. So we did start the season lacking those positions.
but Wiz, we do have all those things. Not to disagree with the total argument, because
Right.
here's the thing. So I'm planted in the theory that the injuries or the absence of guys is clouding Knicks fans' judgment about what they see on a nightly basis. Because we do have all those guys you mentioned, but since we have guys that are absent, out of sight, out of mind, we consider the guys that we see play. Like now, we consider Deuce McBride a starter, right? Deuce
He's
McBride's not a starter, bro.
not a
Right?
starter. I agree.
We consider Josh Hart a starter. Josh Hart's not a starter, bro. You know what I'm saying? We
I
consider
agree.
Precious Achua a key rotation piece. He's a rotation piece, bro, but he's not a key rotation piece. Precious is our 10th man, right? But
True that.
since we have injuries, so many injuries, he's our 6th man, 7th man,
Mm.
right? What I'm saying to you, ultimately, the roster is not flawed. Part of the roster is injured, right? Deuce McBride is your backup point guard. We do have a backup point guard. But since we have so many people hurt, you have to start them at the 2, right?
Okay, so although I'm Deuce Hive, I'm not fully committed to Deuce being a backup point guard right now for a contender. Not right now. I think he's grown into it, but he's not currently the backup point guard for a contender due to his the game is not slow enough for him yet for his handle and his distribution. Is basically managing the team right now as a true point guard is he's not quite there yet. He's gonna be there. I just don't see it yet.
What's the definition of a true point guard?
I meant the game manager. I meant a guy who comes on the court and kind of like sets the tone as to where people are going to be moving and creating his own shot and finding
Is
passes.
Jalen Brunson a true point guard?
So the reason why Jalen, I think he is. I just think right now he's not using those skill sets because it's needed that he takes so many shots and he's dominating. He's so dominant in his scoring ability and ability to create his own shots. So I think he has the skill set. I don't think he actually uses.
Honestly, I think Deuce and it's not that I favor Deuce more than Brunson, right? I
Mhm.
think sometimes it seems like I'm anti Brunson, but I'm not. But I think Deuce McBride is more of a ball mover facilitator than Jalen Brunson. I think Jalen Brunson is a scorer. Period.
Mm.
If Jalen Brunson was 6'6", he'd be a shooting guard.
I agree in that respect, except I do think that this is why Deuce looks more like a distributor and passer than Brunson because he's still in his mindset not that lead point guard, and he's still deferring to the older, more mature, more experienced players that he's still deferring a little bit too much to, and not walking on the court like he actually is the commander, is the floor general. He's walking on the court with, there's Mojan. He's experienced player. There's, Dante. Dante was with, Josh was with the pass the ball right away. So he's not walking on the court saying, "Gentlemen, I'm leading the troops. Let's move. Let's go." He's actually still walking in there. 'Cause reason why I say that because I played like that my freshman year of college, and man, the star player screamed at me about, "Hey, it's your ball to take." And I still was, "But you're the star. You're the star." I mean, this kid was a scoring machine, and I couldn't think of scoring ahead of him. And he had to scream at me a couple times. One time, I mean, yeah, I was that kid, and I feel like I'm seeing that. So maybe it's a little PTSD, here's a little flashback on my part, and I'm projecting. So maybe that's what it is. I said, of course, we all, I've still got baggage from that experience, and then watching my Knicks in the past, and being like, oh, geez, waiting for, or looking for the worst case scenario, and I'm giving guys credit where it's due. But I still think Brunson is ahead of Deuce, and mostly it's the mindset of being the floor general.
Yeah.
I think he'll get there, but I think he's still not quite there. And I would love to have had a Kyle Lowry, yes. Legende, yes. Man, what's that other kid there? Let's do a blank. Is he with Utah? So my little Sexton? Where's Sexton at? I just like that little edge, a little attitude, like, you know what? Like when I bring the ball up, it's my ball until I tell you when you're gonna get it. Now start moving. I don't think I've even seen Deuce like iHeart does, point guys to spots or saying, I'm not saying clear out, but I'm like, I just haven't even seen that mentality of him going to someone, calling a play like, or telling someone, hey, switch, or come get the ball. Like someone runs to him and okay, here's the ball. Or he runs past them and hands it over. It's just that feeling of command and leadership. Kind of like how you run the child, when you're like, yo, I'm the number one chief rocker of this universe. You don't say, I think I'm the number one chief rocker of the universe. You got the mic. You take the mic.
Okay.
I'm trying to give you that pop though. I'm not trying to say you're the number one chief rocker of the chief universe, because
Yeah,
I think
I understand. I think I understand where you going with it. I think I may be Mets. What are you thinking?
I'm thinking.
Did Wiz lose you too?
About what he was trying to paint with about the whole deal with Josh and other things.
Yeah, because the point started out as Deuce McBride needs a break, and we got to Colin Sexton in Utah and some other stuff.
As far as I'm concerned, I get why the Tin Man has gone with a 4-guard setup, but it's not sustainable in the long term.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
But again, we've got a Tin Man for a coach. He's going to stick to this as long as it's successful. And sooner or later, it's going to blow up in his face like it does every time. Does Deuce need a break? Yes. But will Tin Man Tibby do that? No.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
A 4-guard lineup is not going to save your ass when it's in the playoffs. At best, it'll get you to round 2. At worst, you're getting knocked out at round 1 with that configuration.
Right, but his intent is not to run 4 guards in the playoffs. His intent is to play 4 guards so he can save the season while 3 key players are out due to injury. Or that's what it seems like. Tom Thibodeau hadn't run. He never ran that type lineup with Randall and OG and Mitch available.
True, but I'm just saying at this point it's becoming a bit of a bad joke with how once he sees the success of one lineup, he'll stick to it no matter the cost.
Of course. Because those guys are still not here.
And that's what's so grade A aggravating about this guy.
I've gotten softer.
Wait a minute. If the 4-guard lineup is not the answer, what's the alternative?
Any way possible to get OG and Randall and Mitch.
Nah. You can't, bro. You know they're not coming back, bro. I mean, I'm saying, what's an alternative outside of the guys coming back? Because we know that Tibbs is not going to run the 4-guard lineup when the injury guys come back. He would not have ran it. What I'm saying is right now, without the injury guys, what's the alternative?
Stick a Chillip back in the starting rotation.
Okay.
And who fits?
And who do you remove? Do you take Deuce out?
Unfortunately, yes.
Okay. All right. So if you take Deuce out, that means your bench is going to be Deuce, Burks, Bogey, and
whoever Tin Man feels sticking in as the ninth guy.
yeah.
Wow.
You see how things start to
Ooh.
look. See, because
Jeez.
if because now you're talking about things get really shaky.
I love this, but that's
Yeah, you're talking about Duke. Wiz, you remember the conversation when I remember when I think you were here. I was trying to get to it, but I think we kept getting cut off. But I was telling you that Deuce and Burks couldn't play together. Remember that?
yeah,
Remember Deuce's
yeah.
shot was off? And I was like, those two dudes can't play together because Deuce doesn't get in the flow of the game because the two veterans ahead of him have more of a scoring mindset where they don't pay Deuce any attention. And then on defense, Deuce has to make up defensively for what all those dudes do. Right?
Damn.
Which is why I wish we never got rid of Flynn in that trade deadline deal.
Oh man. Wow.
Yeah, and so I think he's at a point. I think he's at a point where he's got to run this 4-guard lineup because because the Alec Burks experiment is not working.
Yep.
Right? Shake Milton is not giving us what do you expect from Shake Milton coming here at the end of the season anyway? Right?
A lot.
Jericho Sims is not going to give you any scoring whatsoever.
Howard.
Mitch is in and out. Robinson is in and out of the lineup due to injury. Right? Precious Achua is too small to be a NBA center playing 25 minutes a game at center. Is what he's doing. Right?
And he should be playing a 4 slot. And yet I never understood why the heck Tin Man put him in the 3 when he was in the lineup. You don't have the taller guy play small forward, so a smaller guy can play power. There's no logic in that.
Right. And it's all centered around the roster not being healthy and guys not contributing what we thought they would contribute. Because if Bogey was still a 20-point scorer per game and a knockdown 3-point shooter, then in theory, you could have played Bogey in some of those lineups, some of those minutes with the starters. Not a starter, but in some of those getting minutes with the starters, stretching the floor so that players couldn't double team Jalen Brunson. And you remember seeing that in the Sacramento game, the Golden State Warrior game, where they tried to trap Brunson on the perimeter, right? But Bogey rotated to the relocate. You remember what our beef was with Quentin Grimes? He would never relocate out of the corner and come up to the top of the key, right, to help Jalen Brunson. Wiz, you remember how we lost to Miami last year with Grimes tucked in the corner and Jalen Brunson wouldn't pass the ball to Josh Hart and turn the ball over?
Yep.
Bogey, a veteran reading defenses, he helped Jalen Brunson out with that this year. The only thing is this team hadn't played together long enough to understand each other's tendencies and know where to be on the floor and things like that. So now, instead of forcing Bogey to take the crunch course, so to speak, Deuce McBride is in there. He's been with Jalen Brunson since Jalen Brunson's been here. So you played those two together, right? And Deuce is more of a willing passer, right? Remember the dunk Hartenstein got last night at the rim? That's because Deuce had a shot, but he saw Hartenstein under the rim, and he threw it to Hartenstein so Hartenstein can get the dunk. And Wiz, that's why I was asking you, like when you say a true point guard floor general, I was asking you Brunson or Deuce. That's the reason why I asked, because Brunson, seeing that, Brunson would have never have passed that ball, and you know it.
I know, sure that.
Brunson would have shot that ball over a taller man and he
Mhm.
probably would have made it.
Right.
He probably would have
But
made it, right? But Deuce was being covered by a larger man, right? Deuce being guarded by a larger man in that instance, and still made that pass to Hartenstein inside a difficult pass in traffic,
mhm.
being guarded by because that was the correct basketball play,
Right.
right?
So that's how you haven't heard me or see me trash, Tibbs or even Burks or Bojan. Obviously, especially when you put it laid out like this with the rotation in the time and who's in there. Tibbs has a lot. He's dealing with a lot right now. So when people talk about Coach of the Year thing, and I used to just dismiss OKC Minnesota right away without even thinking Tibbs in the dialogue. I understand that he's doing a masterful job right now. The other aspect is even Bojan and Burks, even a basketball, even though it's cylindrical, right? It's symmetrical in its shape. Even that, the way it's passed to you, the rotation and the speed affects how you can get it and catch and release it. Because some players, because I remember I had a quarterback, you throw the ball like Elway used to do, where it's 100 miles an hour no matter how far away you are. And I've actually sprained fingers with the ball. This cat had a power arm. He actually literally could throw the ball 100 yards, right? So, but if you're 10 yards away, he throws like you're 100 yards away. Because in his mind, he wants to get to you quicker. But I think about Bojan and
He
Burks
Cam
getting the
Newton.
ball.
He Cam Newton, right?
Exactly, exactly. You're like, damn, dude, I was wide open. If it got there one tenth of a second later, I would have still had the chance to catch and run. But I had to focus on like, oh, get the ball, make sure my fingers not getting crushed, and then snatch it. And I was a hands catcher, I wasn't a body catcher, so if I catch it, it's not gonna be like into the body. I'm gonna try the hands, and if your fingers are the wrong way, it's can just wrap it up for the next week. Now Bojan and even Burks.
But you were Wiz, before you continue. You remember the wide receiver from Florida,
Oh yes.
Jaquez Green, Fred Taylor, Danny Werfel,
Ooh.
and Ike
Mhm.
Hilliard, and all of them. Remember how good they were? Remember
Mhm.
Jaquez Green missed a game because he had bruised ribs?
Yeah.
People were like, yo, we didn't see you get hit. How'd you get bruised ribs? And then the broadcast showed the highlight of a pass going through his hands, hitting him in the ribs.
Exactly. Yeah.
Remember that? He tried to catch
Yeah.
it with his body and he got bruised ribs. And they were like,
Exactly.
what kind of yeah, go
I
ahead,
know.
man. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
So yeah. So when you watch the ball being passed, if there's a certain spin on it when you throw it, or no spin at all, it feels different. Even the basketball. So then when you want to line up a little bit to miss a little bit, get it into the groove a little bit for your rotation for your shot, even that can throw a play off. So that's where even time has to be. I got to adjust to your pass, not just the pass. So
Right.
I think about that for Mojan and for Burks, in that it's not coming to them when they're about to step. Where we've watched Josh Hart and Dante, and even Brunson and Dante. Brunson will actually, get to the position. His foot is about to touch the ground, and the ball is right there, so he can go straight up. Where with Bojan, he wants the ball after he's planted. He goes, okay, I'm set, now I can catch. You know what I mean? So if it's not there in the right time for you, it takes an extra little moment for you to go, let me adjust to my shot or whatever. So I mean, yes, I think they're kind of like shot full first, those guys, and they should be more open to adjust to the team where they need to shoot right away. So I'm giving them the break of find find the groove or let them know your groove or where you need the ball or how you need it or adjust to their passing, which is really what you gotta do. Adjust to the when and where Boston's gonna pass the ball to you. Not everyone's gonna be able to catch a Magic Johnson pass because you don't know where it's coming or where it's coming from, right? So in Magic, when you put it like someone like Magic, you're like, oh damn, I didn't know. Okay, I didn't know it could get that ball to me. I mean, even know where and how it's gonna get to you, or when you got a little spin on it, full court bounce pass with a spin. I mean, and to this day, I regret when I was playing. I didn't see that. I didn't think about that possibility because that just never occurred to me to do a full court bounce pass with a spin on it to get us around. Oh, it just blows my mind. And then, Worthy would have just knew exactly when the ball's coming or it's going to come. Let's be ready. And he's boom, it's ready to go. So I'm giving those guys that opportunity. So right now, these two losses don't hurt as much to me. And again, I love the fact that we're last second shots, which means these guys have been, at least now they've both been tested, recently and before the playoffs on the mentality of being that killer. Kobe, MJ, name the player, last second shot, boom, time to lock down and just take that shot and have no fear and make sure you hit it cold or not. I do think Deuce should have had a couple more shots before he got the last shot there, but Brunson had to put him his 47 shots. I'm not going to blame anybody when I saw them 3 times in a row. Again, the concept was there that maybe it was the best play for us at the time. I'm not going to critique any of the game plan, but I'm pleased with the way the last 3 games show because I show one they're fighters. They can come back even though they shouldn't have been down against San Antonio, and then against the best team in the West right now is a team that they literally without 3 of their starters. Again, Colin Mitch as a starter. They still took them to a time where it took a missed shot by Brunson to not give them the game, and worse yet, a lack of foul call by the ref to not make you know OKC having to either go for a three or be ready to go to overtime. So I'm happy with I'm okay right now. I'm okay. 6-4, 7-3, 50 games. It's there. You had your 60 freezer. You had your 60 game season if you had it. You had the right call if we didn't if you accounted for one half the injuries we had. If we only had half the injuries, 60 was there.
Right.
So I'm going to give that to you. Last summer I was thinking you were crazy. That's you're cray cray.
Right.
At the same time, the team we had, RJ and
They used to also think that about Da Vinci.
that's so true. Yeah. Is that
They
your
thought,
error there? Yeah.
they thought that about Mozart. They honestly thought that about Muhammad Ali.
Yep, that's so
Boy,
true.
crazy.
Oh
They're
yes.
doing all that talking. They gonna kill him in there.
Yep. So maybe I should mention your name in the same breath as Da Vinci, Mozart, and Ali.
No,
It's
what I'm
like
saying. No.
I know. I'm saying,
No, what I'm saying is salute to all the free thinkers that are not shackled by the
ooh
normal
yeah.
commentary that basically drowns our individualism, free
Mm,
thinking, and
mm,
freedom of thought. If you're
mm.
one of those guys that think outside the box, man, think outside the box. You know what I'm saying? Don't
Yeah.
let people put shackles on the way that you think. Right? You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm getting at. I'm not saying that I'm a genius. I'm not saying that I'm a genius. What I'm saying is that I think as fans, you included, Wiz, you included, right?
Mm-hmm.
A lot of times we miss out on great commentary and ideas and thoughts because at the very beginning of you starting to elaborate on your thought about how you went away somewhere. Maybe you were in the car by yourself. You had a thought, and now you want to share it. But before that seed, but they try to kill that seed before it grow.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? That's if you remember, and that's a lyric from one of the great songs of all time by one of the greatest Jamaican artists ever. And
Ah,
he had a song called "I Shot the Sheriff,"
yes, sir.
where Bob Marley said they want to destroy the seed before it grow. Right?
Yeah, man, yeah, man.
Yeah, man. So it's one of those things. Like, am I right on some stuff? Yes. Am I wrong about some stuff? Yes. Do I speculate a lot? Yes. Right? Because think about this. Those that travel, that survey, those like Lewis and Clark, those that went out to the west to see what was out there,
Mm-hmm.
they speculated, right? You know what speculating is, right? Look
Mm-hmm.
forward.
Mm. Yes.
That's what they did. They you know what I'm saying? So, if it makes the conversation better, it makes the conversation better. If it makes the conversation comical at times, we'll just laugh.
Yeah, absolutely.
Is there something wrong with laughing, bro?
Not in my book. Not in
Not
my
at
book.
all, right?
I love it. Yes, sir.
Yeah,
Yep, I love it because yeah, I mean, like even right now, I'm still confident that bring back a healthy OG, we still contenders.
we still contenders, bro. Yep.
Right now, however, currently, I'm not even bringing Mitch back right now. I'm I'm struggling to see how far we can go with the current team without OG and Randall, and so that's my big challenge. And I don't want to hold on to any grudges with the front office about the teams the trade we made because I thought I heard we're not gonna just trade Grimes and Fournier for just two pieces, even if the pieces are gonna be set up for the next two pieces. I thought it was it's gonna be a definitive trade for a player. And although these were pieces, it wasn't a player, and I still to this day thought that was a scenario. Just if we didn't put Grimes in the Donovan trade, and we definitely didn't want to put, so it just felt a little bit disingenuous having that happen. But again, I mean, I'm not saying they changed their minds as time went on and they saw something different, and that's allowed. But it just feels like it was a hard stance as to no way Grimes and Fournier is being traded for just a future possibility of filling in the roster with some salary and pieces that kind of could help as supporting piece. I thought it was a piece, and that's a tough part for me. But
Right.
so, oh man, right now if we had one more piece in of Mojon and Burks, and we give up Grimes, Fournier, and two first rounders, especially I would
I
feel really
disagree.
good right now.
Let me
Uh
do
oh.
the disruptor thing.
As far as
I
I'm
disagree. I disagree with you.
Yes.
as far as I'm
Okay.
concerned, we never should have gotten rid of Malachi Flynn. He would have been a better piece than what we got.
Ooh, Malachi. Ooh.
If we just took Bojan in exchange for Fournier and Grimes, then it would have been fine. But no, we had to get Flynn up too.
What if
Ooh.
Detroit said they wouldn't do the deal without Malachi Flynn?
And I say screw those guys and find a different shooter.
Aha! I see how you went. I see how you went Cartman right there. Wiz, you know anything about Cartman?
No, I don't actually, but I think.
Okay, all right. So shout out to the South Park reference. But
Oh, South Park.
but yeah, man. What I would say to what Wiz is saying, bro, is this kind of I don't think we really need an additional guy right now. I think we just need to get our guys back healthy.
Yeah.
Right. That's it. Once our guys get healthy, then everybody goes into their natural. See, because the thing is you really I don't know if it's fair to ring the alarm, call for help when you may have help in house. Right? You call for the cavalry, but the cavalry may already be wearing Knicks uniforms.
Mm-hmm.
True.
You know what I mean? Yeah. The thing is, I think it's just one of those, man, where I think it's just one of those things where I think we're slightly impatient, right? We're slightly impatient knowing where we could be versus where we are.
Try more like we're very impatient.
Yeah.
Yep, I agree.
Yeah.
I mean, and to a certain extent, I know that if we got Dejounte, I kind of feel that Deuce would not be where he is right now.
Right. Yeah, he'd be in Atlanta.
No, I know he physically. If we kept Deuce, but traded Grimes and a couple and three draft picks or whatever, 2 second rounders, three first rounders, whatever for Dejounte with Fournier,
Second round picks.
and we kept Deuce, I think that Dejounte would have been playing so much more than Deuce would have been. That Deuce may not have gotten this next step towards his confidence of taking that three without an hesitation right now. So I do think that even that move could have a domino effect to affect us negatively from a player we already have right now. So so my questioning is always, you know, with a caveat that, yeah, you know what, we got the DeMar DeRozan, or we got Caruso, or whatever. What would a domino effect have been on the other development of the other players, and how would we have felt, and would we have gone back and been like, I wish we had just done a simple deal like Bojan and Burks, you know? I would have that buyer's remorse no matter which way we went, unless of course we were winning, or if we got PT 13 and he got hurt. Like even right now, who put in that we should go for AD instead of Randall? Imagine we get AD instead of Randall, and both AD and OG next year are hurt, and then we're like, damn.
I mean, what kind of people would want Big Boogie at this point?
Hey, yeah, give me a split second, yo. Ladies and gentlemen, introducing our guy, Big Nick Energy is in the building.
What up? What the fuck is up? Freeze, you wanted me to come on last night, man. For everyone that knows, Big Nick Energy has 4 entities. It's Angelo, who's the owner, Vin, who's the owner / graphic designer, myself, Joe Yoke, the preliminary original content face person, and then Mill, who has far and beyond surpassed me, man. Mill Media, number 1. Mill went from 4th to 1st within like a week, man. It was like the Knicks going from like 6th to 3rd. You know what I mean? Like it just happened out of nowhere.
That fast. So first of all, let us clearly state that, man, huge fan of everything.
Thank you.
You know, we see you guys everywhere, man. We appreciate the contribution to Knicks universe. It's a ever expanding universe that we're all a part of, and in some places you have places like Earth-like planets, and other places it's like these weird nebulous places. And I think you guys do excellent work. Y'all are not like in these weird nebulous places. I like the fact that it's entertaining and educational and to the point. You know what I'm saying? I love it, man. So I appreciate y'all, man.
We try to cover as many bases as possible, man. Angelo and Vin are really creative minds. Like Angelo might be the biggest Knick fan out of all of us. Like I'm a huge, like we're all big Knick fans, right? Angelo is like the bar none, like old school, like New York City Italian, like the Knicks are the best. If you're on the Knicks, you're the best. If you're not on the Knicks, you're the worst. And Michael Jordan, LeBron James, Kevin Durant, you all suck dick. None of y'all are good because y'all never been Knicks. Patrick Ewing, number 1. Clyde Frazier, number 1.5. Carmelo Anthony, number 1.3 because they were Knicks and y'all weren't. Like that's Angelo. I'm not that dude.
Yeah, pretty much where I am. Pretty much where I am with yeah.
Which I respect. Like I loved the game of basketball too much growing up, and I'm 32, right? I was born in 91. Like I watched like a lot of the early to mid 2000s. Like my first real Knicks fandom came from the 99 finals. Like the first ever basketball game I watched was Game 5, Bulls Jazz, and the second time they played when the Bulls, what was that, like 101 to 68 or some shit? Right. Like the dominating game where it was like, oh, the Bulls are getting the three-peat again. Right. And it was just like, this is my introduction to like all-time greatness of sports, not just basketball. Right. So I grew to like love basketball more and then became a Knick fan. Whereas Angelo is just a pure Knick fan through and through, went the other way.
Right. See,
right? And someone like me, I was a pure Knick fan, but as time got on, I grew more jaded and decided, a couple of years ago, why not just do a few Knicks talks, get some grievances off my chest, call a few games whenever I'm applicable to pick them up, whether it be on NBA.com's TNT overtime setup or on ABC. I don't have a cable or streaming setup, so I can't do TNT or ESPN proper.
Same here, man. I illegally stream everything. Hopefully the feds aren't watching.
Yeah. Hopefully the feds are watching Diddy and not us.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, focus your shit the right thing, you know?
right.
I just watch the game on television whenever I get it.
Yeah, so here's my question for you. Where do you feel the Knicks are right now in terms of playoff readiness?
So, Freeze, when I started watching your stream today, which I'm actually glad it didn't start at 9 a.m., man, because I was telling you last night, I work overnights. Like, you're on, and you're like, why aren't you on? Like, it's 1 a.m, I'm at work. It sucks. Right. But the first thing you guys were talking about was, like, if anyone comes back, if no one comes back, if OG and Randall are gone, we can assume Mitch is the backup 5. It seems like he'll play, but OG and Randall are gone, right? Like they're not coming back. Like, what are we doing with the starting lineup? Is Deuce still a starter? And then so I wanted to look up the starting 5s of the teams we might play: Orlando, Cleveland, Miami, Philly, Indiana. Those are the 5 I looked up.
Right.
For 3 of the 5. I think we should start Precious instead of Deuce.
Right.
And this is why. For Miami, you don't have to, because Miami goes small ball and has Bam at the 5. For the other team, you didn't have to, which, even though they're big, I think it's Cleveland, because I actually have faith in Josh Hart and Isaiah Hartenstein to still bully and punk Evan Mobley and Jared Allen based on last year. Even though Mobley is 7 inches taller than Josh Hart would be at the 4, at the Sweet 04. Right. I have no faith in Evan Mobley taking a long-distance shot. I have no faith in him going inside. And I have way more faith in 6'4" Josh Hart to out-rebound this guy. So I wouldn't be worried about it. But for Orlando, they have Paolo at the 4 and Wendell Carter at the 5. Within 5 minutes of that game, Orlando and Jamal Mosley knows this is a good Wendell Carter game. This is a bad Wendell Carter game. Right. This is a good Goga Bitske game. This is a bad Goga Bitske game. Yeah. They go small with Paolo at the 5. You know you can go small. You know you can play Heart or Precious at the 5 and then still do your 1 through 4 Deuce to the 2 lineup. Right. If they're having a good game, you need Precious in, you need Deuce out. Or you need Precious in, you need DDV out, depending on who has it going or not.
Right.
The Sixers, they're getting Embiid back.
Right.
Which then goes, what Tobias Harris do they get? Are they getting $40 million Tobias Harris? Or are they getting every single fan wants Tobias Harris out of the lineup Tobias Harris?
Right.
$40 million Tobias Harris, you need Precious in there. You need size. Right. Let's run Tobias Harris out of town. You can get away with the 4-guard lineup again.
Right.
And then the last team,
Indiana.
Indiana's the last one. I want Precious covering Pascal Siakam the whole time. They're familiar from India. They're familiar from Toronto. The couple times they've seen each other so far in New York, the one time they saw each other in New York, Pascal couldn't get a hold of Precious.
Right.
Offensively, obviously Pascal, Precious is going to do shit on offense against Pascal. He's a better defender, but Precious is one of the better backup defenders in the league. And Pascal, you can tell they're very familiar. I would want Precious on him the whole time.
Right.
And then that's another thing where it's we just watched Deuce McBride do great against Shy, right? Except for the last play. Yeah, except for when size and getting the lineup and getting the 6'6" over the 6'1" matters.
Right.
Deuce could definitely take Tyrese not out of his game altogether, but make Tyrese uncomfortable, which is a lot of what you could ask for. But the fourth quarter, when Tyrese is starting to pull up instead of trying to get 12 assists, then you want to definitely take him out. I want Precious on Pascal as much as humanly possible. And iHeart, Miles Turner, they have different strengths and weaknesses on each other. Right. Miles is going to take iHeart out of the paint. iHeart's going to bully him inside. Right. So that's where I would go with there. So it really depends on the matchup. For 3 of them, I'd want Deuce starting. For 2 of them, I'd want Precious starting, basically.
Okay. So the expectation for you is that Tom Thibodeau would have a flexible mindset.
You know how
it's matchup.
3 years ago, we had Elfrid Payton start, right? And it took one game for him to be like, oh shit, I need Derrick Rose in there.
Yep.
I think he would make either the call or the mistake. It depends on what happens. We're getting, for the rest of the year, if OG and Randall are out, based on what we've seen, Brunson, McBride, DDV, Hart, iHeart are the starting 5. Okay. For the rest of the year, for better or for worse, regardless of size. Say we go up against Indy, right, in a 3-6 matchup, and it takes him the one game, Indy beating us on our home court round 1, or having a terrible first half and making the adjustment second half, which, knock on wood, we've seen this dude not do. He doesn't make second half adjustments. It's just game-to-game adjustments. We've seen it over and over again.
Right.
But imagine if he actually did that. We would lose round 1 and him be like, I love Deuce. I want you in here, but, I need Precious covering Siakam this whole game. And that would be the adjustment he makes. Right. But we're not going to – it'll take a game 1 of our 4-guard lineup failing before we got to the Precious at the 4 thing. Right. Other than that, I think we're going to see what it is.
I like that.
And this is assuming that none of the guys come back.
OG and Randall are going back, exactly.
Yeah, on at the timetable that we expect. We expect them to return. But this is assuming that the injuries keep them out a little bit longer than we expect.
If they weren't ready for April 20th, game one against whoever.
Right.
That's what, obviously if OG's back, we're taking Deuce out. It's hard at the 3, OG at the 4. You know what I mean? Like, if Randall's back, then I mean, Randall's the Suedo 4 no matter what. I think no matter who comes back, Deuce is the one that comes out as the backup. Right. It wouldn't be Hart coming out, which I know earlier in the year it might have been like OG goes in and Hart comes out. I think Hart's a starter no matter what, unless they both come back now.
Right. And to that point, though, either Dante or in that scenario that you mentioned, I think we prefer Josh Hart at the 3 over Dante, right?
Yeah, defensively for sure.
But you want to keep Dante on the floor, so it'd be better to keep Hart and DiVincenzo together with Brunson as opposed to
Deuce come off the bench,
and Deuce, Dante, and Brunson, right? Yeah, so I get it. I get what you mean. Let me ask you this. If healthy, if everybody comes back, what's your perspective on how far this team can go? And I know this is a basic question. I know you hear this all the time, but if healthy or when healthy, how far do you expect this team go based on what you've seen from Tibbs, his game planning throughout the season, the impact of OG Anunoby on this roster, the return of another all-star added to your starting lineup, and Mitchell Robinson coming back for depth? What's your expectation of how far this team can go?
So I want to preface one thing real quick. When people say that Mitch doesn't matter, Mitch is an extremely good NBA center. He is really, like, if you didn't have a center or if you had a below average starting center, he leaps and bounds is better than most people. Like, I set a top 30 centers list earlier in the year on our podcast or our live streams or whatever. Right. And I had iHeart and Mitch like right next to each other at 14 and 15.
Right.
The thing is, they can't play together. So when people are like, I don't think Mitch really affects how far the Knicks can or can't go, it's because Isaiah Hartenstein is also healthy and Precious actually isn't a backup 5. He can be outsized, obviously. Like, Precious has nothing on Wemby.
Like the Denver game.
Right. Precious has nothing on Wemby. He has nothing on Jokic. He would have nothing on Embiid if the Sixers have Embiid fully healthy, which Embiid's supposed to play by Thursday. I don't know if you guys heard that.
Right. Yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
So he's coming back. It is what it is. But outside of those few teams, like, Mitch doesn't really change the trajectory too much. So I'm saying mostly with a healthy OG and Randall. I've been saying all year, I think no matter what, I think Boston has the best team in the East. I've hated saying it. Like, I hate Boston. I hate the Patriots. I'm a Mets fan, so the Red Sox don't matter, but I hate the Patriots. I hate the Celtics. Like, they all suck.
Right.
So it really hurts me in my soul to say that. I just want everyone to know. But I think with a fully healthy team, the Knicks-Bucks is a 7-game series. And based on what we've seen, I trust Jalen Brunson. I trust Jalen Brunson and Damian Lillard way more than I trust Julius Randle, obviously, and still more than I trust Giannis Antetokounmpo. Right. So it's like Game 7 Bucks Knicks is movie. It's highlight. It's Oscar worthy. Whoever has the ball last might win that game. I think we lose to the Celtics. I think we should beat every other team in the East. Okay. And I think even without our guys, if OG nor Randall came back, I think they should still beat the Cavs in 6, beat the Pacers in 6, and beat the Magic in 5. Okay. Even without them coming back, assuming Brunson and everyone else stays healthy.
Okay.
And I think the Sixers with Embiid, who the hell knows? Straight up. Like, I would want to see them again.
Say your Nick Nurse, he's basically floundering. I mean, sure, tomorrow Joel comes back, but what condition is he going to be in?
Well, that's the thing. We don't know. We have no clue. It's like we had no clue what the condition OG or Mitch would come back in, and they both played 1 and 3 games respectively, and they're out again. Maybe Embiid is out again next week for the rest of the year. We don't know. Or maybe they actually have a better training staff than us.
I thought Mitch played 2 and Embiid played and OG played 3.
1-3 or 2-3, one or the other. Either way, it was like not that long, and then he was out again. Like Mitch, I think Mitch is going to be out again tomorrow. Unfortunately, it's just like
but this
time back long enough.
But this time the question is, will the Tin Man pull his head out of his ass and stop having Precious as the 5, as the backup 5?
And so I don't hate that a lot of the times. Again, against Jokic, against Wemby, like there's guys that are too big. But like Orlando, I was saying before, if Wendell Carter and Goga Bitsa suck, like they both have bad games, and then they have Paolo at the 5. Precious and Paolo is fine from like a inside banging matchup, and Precious isn't bad on defense against guys his size. It's when it's Embiid or Jokic that's like, get out of here.
The issue is, I'm not a fan of 8-man rotations. 9-man rotations are fine. But the problem is when you're playing with like an 8 or 7-man rotation, which we've seen Tibbs do a couple of times over the course of the year, it leaves the the bench unbearably stretched thin, and it screws them over.
For the regular season, I agree entirely. I don't know why. I like the Thunder played 11 last night, right? And like they have like their starters play low 30s, and then everyone else is playing between 10 and 15, which is one of the better ways to do it, especially in the regular season. The postseason, especially like once you get to like game 3 in the first round and beyond, unless you're sweeping the team, almost every coach goes 8 or 9 man. Almost every single one. It's not a Tibbs thing. The Tibbs problem is that he does it at game 55 of the regular season and then the guys are worn out, as opposed to like Mike Malone, who's going 9 man already, is just ramping his guys up for the postseason.
That's the Nugget coach, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And the thing though, too, that you guys mentioned, and I just want to be clear about it because I'm not a hater of the conversation. What I want to point out though is those coaches have at their disposal MVP candidates.
True.
Right. And those players have at their disposal guys that have played in high leverage games for multiple teams for multiple seasons. Right. Whereas, we're depending on Deuce McBride, Alec Burks, and Bogey, right? Even Josh Hart. Josh Hart has only been to the playoffs once, and that was with us.
Yeah.
Right?
And Miami exposed him, man. Miami was like, for the love of God, please shoot threes. I don't care.
Please shoot threes.
Miami did to him what we did to Isaac Okoro, which if you can't make those threes in high leverage situations, you screw the other 4 guys on your team.
Right. We're going to sag back into your passing lane and force you to make an offensive move. It's basically what they forced him to do.
And Josh Hart has got to get drilled in his head to stop making those bonehead passes. He's got to learn to just drive it to the hoop or pick his spot and then throw it in for 3. Don't pass it out where it's going to get picked.
Josh Hart has a decent mid-range if he isn't always falling away from like 8 feet to 15 feet on one fell swoop. Like,
because of
dude, you can have faith in your mid-range and just pull up.
His height disadvantage. Because a lot of times those shots are on guys that are taller than him, and he tries to create the separation with fadeaways or maybe floaters or push shots.
Right. But Freeze, you know what I mean, man? Like, he has no faith in his three-pointer sometimes. Like, sometimes he has 8 feet of separation. You could just take one step in. Like,
How many times have you seen him attack the imaginary closeout?
He attacks it too far, man. He attacks it until there's a real guy.
Right. So he attacks the imaginary closeout because he doesn't want to shoot the 3 because he doesn't have confidence in it.
But I want him to have confidence in the 16-foot jumper, and he doesn't have confidence in that either. Or he just doesn't think to stop there because of like how the NBA and the whole either it's a layup or a three-pointer has been drilled in guys' heads since the Rockets 8 years ago.
Right.
It's all Mike D'Antoni's fault at the end of the day.
I'm impressed with your assessment, Nick. My only. Sorry, man. So, and as I was saying, I agree with most of your assessment so far, but part of it is a wishful thinking on one aspect. I think Dante is our John Starks. I think even no matter how well or badly Dante shoots, I don't think he puts in deuce because Dante is off. So I know you want to trust Tibbs to make these adjustments. That's the only one I think. I think the right one you said, well, the first game adjustment with Precious is on point because he will take a game and he will look at tape and he will watch film and he'll come back. Okay, I see it. But in-game adjustment, I think he's trust Dante so much, and especially because of experience and more than even Deuce right now. And this is my boy, by the way. Deuce, I'm CEO of the Deuce Hive, right? But I think he just trusts Dante so much that he's going to be like, okay, next shot he'll hit. Okay, next shot he'll hit. Okay, he's a smart guy. He'll make it. Okay, and then he's going to keep it because he just trusts him so much, and that's in his DNA. That's the only adjustment I think may throw us off because he'll do a John Starks type coaching where he believes in him so much he may not make that adjustment during the game and put in Deuce when Dante is sometimes almost clearly off his shot somewhat.
I do just wonder when we get to the playoff standpoint, and it's like, say, like for this example, like Precious is covering, like I'm saying Precious Pascal because it's like for the Indy series, I think that just makes too much sense, right?
Right.
Like Pascal would tear Josh Hart at the 4. That can't happen.
Right.
So just for the scenario, like it's the fourth quarter, it's a close game, like at least for the sake of offense, defense, assuming Deuce isn't covering like a 6'6" SGA guy, like if we can have Deuce on ball versus Dante, because it's like, Josh Hart's playing, a 5 is playing, and Jalen Brunson's playing. And it's like, if you have to play Precious the 4 based on the matchup, the only what if, and I can only even say this now because Deuce McBride is at the point where he plays 40 minutes a game with these injuries. And it's like, Deuce McBride didn't have his trust even 3 weeks ago. So it's like, the only what if is like, would we get to the point of offense, defense, even with Dante and Deuce? Or is it like just, we need Dante out there for shooting. He's 3 inches taller. It doesn't matter what else is happening.
And your scenario too, also, with Deuce McBride on his on-ball defense, also gives Dante DiVincenzo a little liberty to be the passing lane disruptor. He and Josh Hart getting deflections, getting steals, sneaking
for
up
then when Precious is out. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
if they're 2-3-4.
Yeah. So yeah, I agree with you. D'Angelo, what's good, man?
What's up? How you doing,
What?
guys?
It's not you, brother, from another mother. Gee, I miss you, man. I miss
Shout
you.
out to the greatest borough that ever existed. The Bronx. I can't give Brooklyn credit, bro. I have to say that.
No, you know where that lands, yeah.
BK all day.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Man. So how you been, brother?
All right, not bad. Busy watching these Knicks. I still have my voice is shot from that game with San Antonio over there. So I was yelling at that screen up in the my gosh, in the face of what's his face over there, the string bean with ears. So but listen, I gotta tell you, I mean, I'm so proud of these Knicks this year, how good they are and what they've done, and I'm shell shocked how good we are. But just getting to the full strength thing, us fighting these injuries. I mean, outside of that, with that 10-game winning streak that we had, and then all of a sudden, everybody felt, Randall went down, and we got OG, and all these guys with these injuries. I don't expect much from, Robinson, because he's always been injury prone. This guy can't get on the court without, bumping his toe against the wall. He's always getting injured,
Right.
But if we're at full strength, we could beat anybody. That's how good we could be with these guys. But we don't get a report with Randall. He hasn't even done the contact routine during practice. How long are we going to wait? What is he going to just show up in the playoffs? Expect him to he's got to get the wind beneath his wings over here, He's got to get out there.
He's just basically trying to string us along like a carrot.
Yeah.
That is the most aggravating part is the lack of updates. Like, just be honest with us, man. If you said they were out till 420, they're out till 420. It's 3 weeks. Like, just be honest.
Tell us what's going on.
It's all.
It shouldn't be a big.
It's nothing but
quick 420
or flat out cover-ups.
It shouldn't be a big secret. Just let us know. The fans are smart. They know if he's not going to make it till the playoffs or whatever it is. Let us know what's going on. That's the most frustrating. These guys all the guys that we got right now are running out of gas. They got guys playing at 48 minutes, 47 minutes. Yep. We're running out of gas just before the playoffs. So we're going to go out in the first round and we keep playing these guys.
What do we have to do? Approach these guys, grab them by the throat, and demand they tell us the truth?
Dude, what do you think Fred Katz and Ian Begley just say when they're walking out after the press conferences to each other? Be like, dude, can you fucking believe they just won't tell us again for the 95th time? We're here every day, man. Right. We know.
And full disclosure too, it's not Julius Randle's fault that they're not updating the fans and the media. This is
No, it's not Julie. Yeah, I agree.
yeah. This is how the
Rose
Knicks
is pretty
operate
work.
because legit they listed OG Anunoby as a game time decision every game up until the trade deadline, and then announced he had successful surgery. We had no idea how hurt OG Anunoby was at the trade deadline until they kind of snuck it in at the same time that they announced the Bogey and Alec Burks trade.
And Adrian Wojnarowski the very next day, CAA's very own TV rep, Adrian Wojnarowski, the next day said the Randall injury, they are fortunate, is weeks, not months. It's been months now, for sure.
Months. Yep.
Which means they're flat out liars, and I'm sick of these cover-ups.
Right.
Facts.
And so as a Knicks fan, I think all of us want full disclosure, but at the same time, I agree with you. Like listen, man, I pay for stuff. I buy Knicks stuff, bro. I go to opposing stadiums and buy suites, right? So Knicks, all of us can go and hang out in Orlando, Miami, Atlanta, Memphis, Charlotte.
Not Boston, because then we're in a shootout. I'm not trying to actually die on my trip,
Right.
Like that scene from Feel Good Men, where you're in where the fan base is Tom Cruise and whoever's in the front office is Jack Nicholson, and you're basically demanding, I want the truth.
I feel like we're the cops in Ocean 11. Just someone tell me the goddamn plan.
Right. Just yeah. Just be up front. But at the same time, this is the thing I think where the Knicks may have closed ranks, and when you close ranks, not allowing outsiders in. When you close ranks, you also prevent insiders from coming in too. Right? Like if you remember the Jalen Brunson introductory press conference, yeah, remember that?
Oh yeah,
it's held at a private venue, and only certain season ticket holders have access, and you get limited information. That right there was a signal to us, like these guys are not, but they're secretive.
By the way, speaking of being secretive, can I throw something at you guys because we're not allowed to tweet it? I can't post it on anything I have because apparently fucking the insider people of the MSG follow BKE now, I was told by Ange and Ben, which kind of cool, kind of blows. I'm going to throw something at you guys since I'm going to say it on this stream and not on my own.
Right.
How much do you think the refs actually screw us over because the league hates James Dolan and hates the fact that he has his own version of the CBA where he actually doesn't have to share all of his profits with the other smaller teams? I think that's a real conspiracy theory worth talking about, but we can never actually mention it. I think it's actually the league tells the refs to actually make the Knicks have a 49% call instead of a 51% call because they actually hate James Dolan as an owner so much.
Right. Do you blame them?
No.
Pretty up and up. I mean,
do you blame them? Why
they're saying F you to Dolan? I
don't blame them. But I think that might be part of the reason.
Right. And the thing is D'Angelo, this is the thing. And I want to say this to my man because we've been at it for 3 years now, right? D'Angelo, do you blame Dolan for being frustrated over paying the Denver Nuggets money in revenue sharing when they are the NBA champs? Why do the Knicks have to pay the Golden, or not now because the Golden State Warriors have increased their whatever, right?
Value to the league.
But why are the Knicks paying the Utah Jazz, the New Orleans Pelicans money out of their check when the Knicks put on a great product every night, and the Pelicans and them they can't even fill up their parking lot, right? Is that the Knicks' fault? No. Mm-hmm. And then these teams get their revenue, right? These teams get their revenue, right? The big revenue sharing check, right? And they don't even try to win. These owners are getting rich off the Knicks. Let me bring my guy in real quick. Hold on, everybody. Lee,
Salute.
what's that, boss?
What's happening, gentlemen?
Salute. What
What's
up?
good? What's good? What's good?
Hey, Lee.
What's up, man? Hey, man. Listen, I just want to
You from
come
the
in. I'm not
Bronx?
coming in
From the
hot.
Bronx?
I'm not coming in hot. Beg your pardon? Oh, I'm not coming in hot,
You
but
from the
I will
Bronx?
say this real quick. You know what I'm saying? We as Knicks fans need to stop getting all upset over the news we get and don't get. And there's a reason why, you understand what I'm saying, that there's so much news disclosed out to the public. You understand what I'm saying? This is so we can make moves. You know what I'm saying? These cats aren't playing checkers anymore. They're playing chess. You understand what I'm saying? So when the rest of the league knows what's going on in the Knick world and disclosing all of our business outside, that's how we lose our upper hand when we're trying to make moves. You all understand that, right?
Yes.
No, I think that's a cop out.
I think
That's not a cop out.
pre-trade.
That
I
is what
think
it is.
pre-trade deadline and pre-free agency. I agree. I think at
Yeah.
this time of the year, I think it's kind of stupid.
Yeah, that's exactly. I'm with Joe on that one, bro. After
No,
after the trade deadline, bro, what do you have to hide?
And going back to what Freezy was trying to say earlier, or with the whole finance thing and how how the refs are just telling Dolan to F off and how Dolan's telling other small market teams to F off. It's basically like take what I've got in my hand.
So what's the point that you get?
Thank
The point
you.
is basically they're mad at, say, Dolan hoarding all the caviar for himself, and they say, "You're gonna do that? Fine. We'll pinch all your money so you can't get anymore."
Right. I think it's less about that. I think it's more about expansion and getting more money out of different markets on a more consistent basis. Right. That's what I think it is. And I think that's the reason why you hear talk of, even though teams are poor, like the Pelicans, right? There are
The
teams
Thunder.
out there that probably shouldn't even be in the league, but we're talking about expansion to Seattle and Las Vegas. Right. Even though there are teams in the league right now that can't even afford to be in the league, and they're talking about expanding the league to 32 teams.
That's because of player talent, though. That's not because owners can afford it.
And I would say expand to 34 teams. You're going to put 2 in the West, 2 in the East.
No, they're gonna move. They're gonna move Memphis and Minnesota over. That's the idea. Is that they're gonna move the 2 farthest east teams that are both in the Central Time Zone to the east, and then just add Seattle and Vegas.
Yeah,
exactly.
And that just basically leaves the divisions unbalanced.
No, they'll still be the same. If there's 6 divisions of 32, I think. I mean, the division winners barely get anything. It's still about 10 teams making the playoffs / play-in.
But I'm just saying, then what do you do? I mean, you six does not go into 32 evenly. You need at least 4 other teams to balance everything out. At least in my
They're not going to do that. They're just doing 16 teams. I mean, you could do the NFL is 32 teams. It's divisions of 4.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then you got divisions of 8 in the NHL, but still, that's only 2 divisions in each conference.
Yeah. So we're in theory we're talking about 8 4-team divisions, right? Like the NFL, like North, East, South, and West.
That gets a
right.
little
And what it'll do though, it'll get rid of, say, non-traditional rivalries, right? Like for instance, if you go to that format, then traditional rivals like the Sixers, Celtics, Toronto, Brooklyn, Knicks.
I think Toronto would be out, right? It'd probably be the Celtics, Knicks, Nets, and Sixers.
Yeah, probably.
And then Toronto would move to the Central with the Pacers and the Bucks and probably the Minnesota.
Don't you mean the North?
Yeah.
Right. And yeah.
It would be Indiana, Toronto, Detroit, Chicago, and then in the South it'd be Atlanta, Miami, Charlotte, and
Memphis. But we can't forget about Memphis, because Memphis is the most Eastern Western Conference team, right? So you'll have to make the. But the point that I'm getting at with the Dolan thing though is and I agree with them. It's not fair that a team that conducts business at a high level has to pay and help a team that does not conduct business at a high level.
But Freeze, do you know what's hurt Dolan over the past 20 years that he's been fighting the CBA and trying to keep all of the MSG Network money to himself?
Right.
The Bulls and the Lakers, the other two biggest teams, and now the Warriors, they don't fight the same fight. They're just willing to give it up.
Right.
If Dolan had the Lakers on his side, it would be a whole different thing, but he never has. The buses have always been cooperative. Right. So Dolan just seems like the richest a-hole in a group full of rich a-holes.
Right.
And what family owns Chicago?
They suck. They've always been terrible owners, but they've never been willing to not split it up. It starts with an H. It's been the same guy since Jordan, and they all disagreed. It was on The Last Dance.
Ronsdorf.
Right.
Yeah.
So if you did it, a good argument you made also was, if a team wins is a winning team, I don't care what their revenue is, they should not get any money. You should, if you surpass a certain level, you should not be getting money from the Knicks, despite your small market.
Yeah, us paying OKC this year is bullshit. You know what I mean? Like, how are we giving OKC money and they're one of the best 4 teams in the league?
Right, and it's not even like a small check. It's like we're giving OKC like $8 million. And
Right.
I know $8 million in the
It's a whole nother player worth salary.
Right. And it sounds like it's $8 million. Dolan's got it. No, you got to consider it's not just OKC. You're talking about OKC, Minnesota, Portland. Everybody's getting these checks cut $8 million, right? From like 5 different teams where the Knicks are. And now you're like, okay, all of these teams are getting the equal profits and they're not putting in the equal work.
Mm-hmm.
The Suns this year, because they're so far over the luxury tax, they're giving the last, I think it's the last 6 teams $10 million each. Like, how crazy is that?
It's crazy, bro. It's crazy.
Yep.
It's crazy. And then to me, where Lee, and to your point, I didn't mean to come. It seemed like I wanted to slam dance on your point. That's not what it is. What I'm saying is, it's not fair that these teams pay all this money, and then when the draft comes, these teams that cut the biggest checks rarely get the number 1 pick.
Of
The
course.
number 1 pick always seems to go to your San Antonios or your Clevelands or your
New Orleans,
yeah,
New Orleans,
Oklahoma City.
Oklahoma City,
Yeah.
Minnesota's.
yeah,
Memphis.
and so
Detroit.
I understand the NBA.
Detroit has money. That's their own problem.
Yeah.
Yeah, they are idiots.
Yeah, Detroit. I think Detroit may have the richest owner in the NBA, but I think maybe 3rd richest.
And got to be the worst GM.
Yeah. Oh, and Coach Combo. That's
Yeah.
like the worst.
I think that this
Or your wizard.
Knicks franchise gets so disrespected in the league.
Right.
Right on down to the refs, right on to everybody, the announcers, or when you're on ESPN. There's no respect. No respect. We don't get rid of each other. As Knicks fans, as the Knicks franchise, you want to say it's stolen, let's say it's stolen, whatever that means. But still, we just don't get the respect. There is no respect. And it just shows. When you're watching those ESPN games with the 8 Burks of me, I would push my TV off the stand. I get sick of hearing that stuff. They always talk about the other team, never talk about the Knicks. Never the good on the Knicks, always the bad. Been like that for a year, and it makes you sick. I got to shut off the volume all day.
Right. D'Angelo, to your point, we are the Notre Dame football and Dallas Cowboys of the NFL to these major media markets, bro.
Minus the titles. Minus the titles, of course, Freezy. We only got 2 of them.
Well, minus the titles, that means it's very comparable since the year 98 or whatever the last time the Cowboys won. That means it makes perfect sense.
Yeah. And it's like Notre Dame football is self-sustainable. Like legit Notre Dame football does not have to join a conference. Even with all the new formatting, NIL money, all these different changes, Notre Dame is like, oh, that's what y'all want to do? We got it.
Because Notre Dame and NBC signed that big deal, and they jumped the gun. They just made it make sense for themselves.
Didn't the contract run out recently?
They renewed it because they were on Peacock all this past year.
Yep, and even Mets, even if the contract does run out, right? You know what Notre Dame would do? They'll re-sign for a bigger contract that they signed than the one that expired.
Yeah,
right?
too bad we can't say the same for the basketball program because that's always confined to a conference.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's the thing about Notre Dame. They have a brand. They're the Golden Domers. They have a product that legit a diehard fan base puts money into.
Dumb white people like me love those Irishmen, man. I'm part Irish. It's just it's a marketing tactic that's BS and it works for some reason.
Bro, I'm like, I'm 0.8% Irish. 0.8. I think it's point. I'll go to Ancestry.
You would imagine it'd be in Boston, but nope, it's in Illinois. It's in Indiana. I don't know.
Yeah, but the point that I was going to make too is the Celtics Boston probably has the smallest city in terms of land, in terms of area, right? Brooklyn, New York is larger in land mass in area, right, than Boston, Massachusetts, right? Mm-hmm. But Celtics fans are passionate and pour money into the Celtics, right? Whereas San Antonio is bigger by land mass and population, and their fans are maybe laissez-faire about San Antonio. When San Antonio's winning, they're passionate. When San Antonio's not winning, they're like, whatever.
I mean, it's the same thing with their women's team. And again, I know I'm beating the dead horse with this. Who the hell gives a damn about the WNBA?
That was random. But yeah.
Yeah, that was agenda pushing. Yeah. Women, am I right?
Even their WNBA team, not a lot of fans really care about it. Yeah.
Actually, speaking of which, do you guys think Caitlin Clark should do the big three? I 100% think that should happen.
I think
Liberty?
Yeah.
No, I think Caitlin Clark should do the big three this year.
And instead, yeah, I'm like, what are we waiting on?
Well, she could do. I mean, I guess you can't do both because it's in the summer, right? Yeah.
Get that money. We're in a capitalist society, man. Get that money.
Also, I'm sure I know we're all curiosity killed the cat one way or another. I've always wondered what it's like to see one of the best women players like play with men. Like for basketball and soccer, those are the only two sports that translate the most. Like you would never see a woman football player. You're not going to see like a woman like hockey player that get destroyed. You're not going to see like, you know what I mean? Like basketball shooting and soccer as a shooting skill set. Those are the only ones they even remotely kind of maybe translate.
Right.
You're talking about bringing transgender individuals into the NBA.
Well, I'm saying I want to see Caitlin Clark in Big Three just to see what happens.
Just women and like with just Caitlin Clark. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think the thing is, even with her, taking
me on the road.
Even with her, we have to account for the size of the basketball being bigger, right? Being a shooter. You know what I'm saying? With the women's size ball is one thing. And
she's small. She's 6'1". I get the whole thing, but
right.
Still want to see it.
Right. It would be a spectacle for sure.
You said the key word, spectacle.
Yeah, it'd be a spectacle for sure. I don't know if but here's one thing, just real quick before I get out of here, y'all. I want to ask everybody just this one question. And I think it's probably going to spur like a 3-hour conversation, man. I just got a couple of calls. I gotta return just really quickly. Do you think Tom Thibodeau can get over the hump with an ideal roster that fits what he wants to do? Can Tom Thibodeau win a championship with a roster that's in his likeness? A deep, tough, gritty, tight roster. The roster that he wants, can he win a championship with it?
I'm going to say yes.
Yeah, I think worse coaches have won titles. So I would also say yes.
Doc Rivers.
Right.
Prime example. Yeah.
I would have said no a year ago. I'm saying yes. Leaving the yes right now. 80% yes.
I'm going to be the odd duck out and actually say no.
Listen, I think
even if he gets that roster, what are the odds of him going up against a team that's as good, if not better than him, than the lineup he establishes or imagines for himself than he is? What
listen, we're one of the best defensive.
Expand on that, Mets.
Oh, God.
What happens if he faces a team that's just as good, if not better, at him in getting that grind out team assembled? What if he gets a coach who goes up against a coach who's someone like, say, for example, Eric Spoelstra, who basically mollywopped him last year in the playoffs?
He didn't
But
mollywop him.
we heard that question. We heard that part, right? But I'm asking you to expound on why you would think Tom Thibodeau wouldn't be able to, as opposed to, because here's the thing: in the playoffs, all the coaches are good, right? In the playoffs, all the rosters are good. In the playoffs, for the most part, most organizations.
I don't know, man. Those Nets last year after those trades, that was a terrible roster in the postseason. I hate to beat on Brooklyn all the time, but
yeah, I mean, it is Brooklyn though. But the thing I'm getting at is on a level playing field, like when all good coaches are facing each other. Man, listen, Eric Spoelstra has not won a championship without LeBron James. All the credit we give Spoelstra, right? Tyronn Lue has not won a championship without LeBron James. Mike Brown has not won a championship without LeBron James. Hey, baby.
I thought he won it with Jokic.
Hold up.
Mike Brown?
Hold up.
Mike Malone. Mike Malone won last year.
Yeah.
LeBron coach. Never mind.
Yeah, Mike Malone didn't coach LeBron. But the point that I'm getting at is these coaches in the playoffs, I think it's one of those deals where these great coaches, when they face off against each other, there are more elements to there's more than meets the eye, basically, is what I'm getting at. Do you believe in Tom Thibodeau, though? On a level playing field with the roster that he wants, can he win a championship?
I'm gonna repeat my answer. Yes.
Okay.
I'm going to stick with mine and say no.
And
what are you thinking, bro?
I'm leaning yes also, by the way. Leaning yes still because I'm seeing the promised land.
Well, maybe I'll say yes.
I've seen the promised land. I see his potential. I see his mindset. And when he's on his game, which is more often than not, he can do it. Again, I pick at the moments he's off, and then point those moments out. But when Tim is really on his game, and he's really like, you can see his focus, and he's not lost in the moment, and not realizing that, oh man, there's a time to switch a player out because he's off, or even I don't want to go back to old games, but when the offense defense switches he didn't make in the past, where he leaves in short guys at a foul shot with the last second left and we're ahead, and the team needs a rebound, and he leaves in the shorter guys when he could bring in a Sims and a Mitch and the I heart at the same time with a Randall and get Bronson out there when all we need is a rebound. When he's in those moments where he's doing those kind of things, I don't think anyone can beat him when he has the right team. Even Spolstra.
He made an adjustment yesterday. And
exactly.
that shot when you saw SGA hit over Deuce McBride, Jalen Brunson was not on the floor defensively.
Yeah,
exactly.
In his mind, his best defenders, he put it on the floor, the best defensive lineup, and then with the offense that you saw on the floor, he put his best offensive and rebounding lineup on the floor for Jalen Brunson's final shot.
Yep.
Okay, I'll change my vote to yes.
So
what?
The thing about it with Thibodeau is all the things that we think we see about Tibbs, all the intel that we have about Tom Thibodeau, the Knicks also have that same intel.
Mm-hmm.
The Knicks also have that same information, right? So what if you see it, trust Tom Thibodeau has already seen it. By the time we see it, Tom Thibodeau has probably seen it and watched it several times.
Can I ask a different follow-up question?
Okay, sure.
Do you think if this roster was fully healthy, they could beat the Denver Nuggets in a 7-game series?
Easy.
Yes.
Yeah. Yes.
And
that is not the resounding answer I was expecting, but all right then.
Here's the thing. Here's the reason why I say yes, right? The offense and defensive schemes that Denver runs against most teams in the NBA works, right? Because it jeopardizes their offense, jeopardizes defenders. Like it's always a two-way go. Defender has to make multiple micro decisions in real time. Take the step this way. If he takes a false step, the pass.
When the tallest player has the best vision, that puts your whole defense on a stranglehold.
Right. And defensively, what they do, right? If you pull Jokic away from the rim, they have both of their wing players, Porter Jr. and
Murray.
Gordon, with one foot on either side, on either box,
and they both cover weak side help.
Right,
as some of the best 3 and 4 in the league.
Right. And so, and even when you Jr., who's not a good defender, even when you take him out and put in Peyton Watson and Christian Brown and those type of guys,
other long, great off help guys.
Yep. And so you get more of a deterrent going to the rim, and you get the rim protection, right? And then if you stall at any point, Jokic can get back into the play, right? My thing is when you play the Knicks, though, you have unpredictable scorers and Jalen Brunson and others where we don't run a conventional type. When we need a bucket, we don't run conventional type plays. It's Jalen Brunson is crafty enough to create a shot for himself.
He calls for a pick at most, yeah.
Right. And even if he calls for it sometimes he'll deny the screen just because he wants to draw another defender away from the rim so he has more room to operate in his sweet spot, in his area. Right. And so if you ask me about the Denver Nuggets, I say absolutely we beat them. I'm confident we can beat them in 6 games. Right. If you ask me about the Celtics, I say yes, we can beat the Celtics in 6 games. Now, where things get tricky with the Knicks is if a team is tall at every position, right, and you can get balanced scoring all over the floor. Like when you don't know where the offense is going to come from, where Tom Thibodeau can't put forth the perfect game plan against the offense, right? And then that's where things get dicey for us. And we've seen it throughout the year. If a team, the Orlando Magic is a fly in the ointment for us, right? Because they're not only are they long, they're also athletic, right? So it's not like, for instance, if Jalen Brunson starts cooking, they could just bring Jonathan Isaac off the bench, and his sole job will be to guard Jalen Brunson, a 6'11" athletic superior defender.
Yeah.
Right now, he's not going to play 40 minutes because he's injury prone, but he will play 15 to 20 minutes, and that may be just enough of what you need in order to slow down the Knicks long enough to get a lead.
Well, Jalen Suggs has also proven this year that he's taller Deuce McBride anyway, so that also helps out a lot.
He as well, right?
You can do it.
Right, and I'm glad you brought him up. The point that I was getting at is teams like Orlando that have multiple versatile, long, athletic defenders, they will give the Knicks problems because for the most part, our tertiary scorers are not tall, athletic guys. You're talking about Deuce McBride is 6'1", 6'2", Brunson 6'1", 6'2". Dante is 6'3", 6'4", 6'5". You know, without Randall, we have a legit issue against teams like that.
Yeah. Well, that's why I'm surprised everyone said yes to the Nuggets so fast, because Aaron Gordon 6'8", Porter Jr. 6'10", Jokic is 7 foot, KCP is 6'6", and Murray is their point guard 6'3". That's why I was so surprised the yes was so quick.
Yeah, well, the reason why I say that is because Denver's defensive style and Orlando's defensive style are two different styles of defense.
Well, Denver relies on their off-ball help because Jokic isn't the best defender in the world, and the magic will funnel to Isaac or Paolo or, not Wendell Carter, but anyone else.
The team outside in the mix also that I would be worried about, because I was there on the floor watching them, are the Clippers. When they're healthy and they all got their game going, that defense and their offense are just look against the Knicks. It looks crazy. Like we like we're not in the same league. Because when Kawhi, PG-13, and Powell are playing together, those three alone looks like who we're gonna stop. Who's gonna stop them?
Right.
And no three players can stop those guys when they're on their game. And then defensively, all three again, super athletic, long, high IQ defenders.
Right.
And then of course Westbrook comes in and he throws another mix in there. And next you know, I mean, it's just they do scare me a little bit if they can make it healthy.
Minnesota, ironic. I fear Minnesota more than I fear Denver. Ironically.
Is it a bigger
Right,
matchup?
and it's because they have defense on all three levels.
I would be amazed if Minnesota beat Denver in a 7-game series on that own aspect, but yeah. For the Knicks, I get it.
And Anthony Edwards as a backcourt defender, McDaniels is an elite wing defender / whatever, and then you have Rudy Gobert at the rim.
Alexander Walker's a great backup defensive player for McDaniels.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And Conley, while he's not a great defender anymore, right?
Still wily as hell.
Yeah, he's like Jokic in a sense where the physical ability may not be there anymore, but the database is there. These dudes are so smart; their basketball IQ is so high that you know what they can't do physically, they can communicate to others, and just you know be a stick in the mud for an offense with Jalen Brunson and Randall that at times can get bogged down, not against an average defense at times. So
the reason why I'm optimistic right now because I've never seen D'Angelo so optimistic of the Knicks ever. I'm like so happy to watch D'Angelo optimistic.
When they've done what they've done at Tips, I gotta give him kudos. He's done an excellent job this year. We're a top defending team in the league this year. Okay, you gotta give him some credit where credit is due. He's got players that are gritty and playing defensively. They buy his, you know, they're buying his defensive style. They're mentally tough. A lot of these guys, and we got stricken with these damn freaking injuries. That just pissed me off. Getting these guys full strength. We're in a 10 damn game winning streak and putting on 20, and all of a sudden, we can't have good things as Knicks fans. But I think we can beat anybody in the league with this team. I really do. We're at full strength. Okay, this is the caveat this year. You know, that's what I'm saying, guys. I think this team.
hey, I didn't hear that last part. Is D'Angelo going in and out on y'all?
He's fading out a little bit. Yeah.
Well, on that note, man, listen, I want to thank everybody for coming through, hanging out with us, man. It's been a pleasure. I got to get back to the telephone, man. Phone's been, yeah, man. Listen, working from home, bro. But then at the same time, when the phone rings, you got to get to it. So, but thank all of y'all for coming through, hanging out, man. I'm gonna get out of here. Knicks at Night podcast tonight at 11-ish, something like that.
You're on like 5 hours a day every day, man. It's impressive. It's wild.
Well, it's man. It's something for sure.
Yeah.
And you're a Yankee fan, right?